News that sent shockwaves through the NBA this morning. We pick up the pieces and predict how the new look East will play out. NBA Today tips off right now. That brings us to today's top story. Detroit Pistons All-Star Cade Cunningham will miss time due to a collapsed lung. The Pistons have just 14 games left in the regular season, and the playoffs start in just 30 days. Senior insider Shams Charania broke that story this morning, and Shams joins us now. Shams, what more can you tell us about how long the Pistons could be without Cade?
George, Cade Cunningham is expected to miss an extended period of time. It's going to be at least a few weeks, and I'm told right now Cunningham, the Pistons, the medical group in Detroit are working through the next steps to continue to gather information on treatment plans, recovery, and eventually a rehab plan. And my understanding is there is optimism within the Pistons that Cunningham will be back for the playoffs. That's about a month away, but they're unsure exactly when he'll be able to, and his importance can't be understated. He has one of the highest usage ratings in the league. He means everything Detroit from a culture perspective, on-court perspective, but now he will be out for an extended period of time.
All right, Shams, thank you so much for the information. Cunningham has played 60 games this season that count towards the postseason award selection. If he's unable to play the remainder of the regular season, he would miss out on any of those honors. Cade is top 3 on the Pistons in every major statistical category. We welcome you inside our studio alongside NBA champion Kendrick Perkins and the host of the Hoop Collective podcast, Brian Windhorst. I'm George Sedano in for Malika Andrews. Tough blow, obviously, for the Pistons. So, Perk, how much will this shake up the East?
Listen, first of all, we need Cade Cunningham. The league needs him. Like us as fans, we want to see him in the big moment of the postseason. Let me get that out the way. Secondly, Cade, when he's available, the Detroit Pistons are a legit title contender. When he's not, they're a first-round exit. That's how valuable he is. That's how much him being out shakes up the rest of the league. So if you're Boston, you're New York, you're saying, well, damn, now the floodgates have really opened, because I know right now the Knicks probably looking at it like, you know, you ain't praying on nobody's downfall. You don't want nobody to be injured. But damn it, if you're trying to get to the championship, you trying to make it through it, you might have to see those guys. But if he's not available, again, it's not good for Detroit. They could be an early round out in the playoffs.
All right, so the words on the bottom of the screen there, that's the bad news. Let's talk about the good news. The good news is they got a 4-game lead in the Eastern Conference standings for the 1 seed. And I do think seeding is less important in the East this year than health, obviously, but the Pistons have worked very hard, and it would be terrific if they could get the 1 seed. So they have some cushion there on the 1 seed, and they've played okay without Cade this year. They're 5-2 without him, and there's some tankers left on that schedule. They should, there's some tough games, no doubt, but they should get some wins. You look at man, that's going to be that road trip at the Thunder. That won't be fun. But okay, now I will say, they get to play the Wizards tonight. I would strongly advise winning that game, for example. Okay, but I will say this. We've seen injuries before, and Perk, I know you had a rib injury in your career. When the Pistons announced this injury, they did not announce a rib injury. Now, maybe they're not giving it all, but if he avoided major rib injury, that could potentially be more positive for him to come back on the shorter time frame. So I'm sure he's feeling it today. I'm sure he is not feeling great about life. I don't think you can fly with a collapsed lung. He's probably taken a bus back to Detroit, or it'll probably be a very nice bus, but it probably will be a long day for him to get back. But I do think that there's reason to believe, if you're a Pistons fan, that this will not derail even your seeding, much less your playoff.
Well, and let's not forget, C.J. McCollum had something like this recently, and he missed 2 weeks, and then he was able to resume basketball activities.
No. And look, the way that science is now, the money that organizations spent for us doctors and the medical staff, I believe he is going to come back. But I do think it's a blessing in disguise for the Detroit Pistons, because now you can see or put to the test the perimeter play, because the big question has been, who is going to be that number 2 option on the perimeter that's going to elevate their game come postseason time? Is it going to be Jenkins? Is it going to be Hollins? Is it going to be Tobias Harris?
Right.
Now these guys are able to showcase.
Yeah, we'll see how it works itself out. And if the worst-case scenario does happen, they will see who they need to potentially stick with or move on from in the offseason as well. All right, let's move on to the top game from last night. LeBron versus KD. Lakers in Houston for game 2 of their back-to-back meetings, their baseball series. This one lived up to the hype. LeBron turned back the clock early, Wendy.
Early and often. My God. He had 4 dunks. Okay, wait a minute.
This one, though. Come on.
Perk, what do we say about that? What do we say about that?
I'm just jealous again. I'm in my second chapter of my life. We came into the league together, and he's still leading the league in transition.
And you see that 8 for 8 in the first half. Tied for most field goals without a miss. Going back to the Heatles days, we'll have some more Heatles stuff coming up a little later. But, you know, Luka got in the action here.
Did he?
About 40 times.
About what, Whitney?
About 40 times.
And look, he was talking, somebody poked the bear. Shame on them.
Yeah, watch this. Talking to the fan while
he's got the ball.
And he got the steal there. Now check this out. Takes it the other way. Gets fouled. And still having some words, you'll see. Third quarter here. KD only 2 points in the first half, 3 field goal attempts. But he got cooking in the third quarter.
They were double teaming him, Perk.
Well, look, they was actually getting stops, though, and being able to get out and run. And look, I love this action right here. Him and Şengün got to continue to develop some type of 2-man game, chemistry, 2-man action.
Houston went into the fourth with a 3-point lead, but then it was Luka time once again. 4 minutes left, Lakers down 2. Luka drives with the pass to Rui Hachimura, who hits every part of the rim here on this 3.
He had no choice. With that type of dime, look at this.
That's insane.
We need to do a study on his step-back threes. Real talk, the separation. You heard what he said.
That's what he do, baby.
No, that's not how you say it.
But look at this one. Triple team finds Bron for the alley-oop.
It's his 5th dunk.
Yeah. Luka fired up. Finished with 40 points. LeBron, he ended up with 30.
Someone's about to get talked to. Perk. Someone's about to get talked to.
After Luka hit that dagger and hit back at the fan. So Luka and company, LeBron gives him a headbutt on the chest. Lakers win 124-116. Here's LeBron with Lisa Salters after the game.
You look like vintage King James to us. Just how did tonight feel to you?
I mean, I didn't feel that great, today, when I woke up or even when I got to the ring. I was pretty tired, obviously, from the last game or whatever the case may be. But, once the competitive juice get going and we got flowing, my guys pick me up, I try to pick them up and just try to make a few plays.
Wow. By the way, if JJ's out of shape, what the hell are we at this point? Which I might add, JJ did scrimmage with the team earlier this year. He told us he knew what he shot. 7 of 10, 5 of 8 from 3, and then didn't want to tell anyone he kind of pulled a groin muscle. But nonetheless.
Yeah, well, how many points did he give up?
Yeah, that's fair. Right. He didn't tell us about that. But, Perk, what did last night show you after what we saw from LeBron?
Well, let me say this. So my sons went to the game last night, right? And they saw JJ after the game. They was in the back. So JJ, they called my wife, and JJ had a message for me. He said, tell your Pert to stop talking ish about me. Right? So guess what, JJ? I'm going to give you your damn flowers today. You've been coaching your ass off. We see the spirit of this team. We see the camaraderie. We see the passion, the energy. I always evaluate LeBron James, not only if he's going to put on these dunks or make these tough shots. I look at his body language. He's bought in right now. I'm looking at a DeAndre Ayton, who wasn't getting minutes 2 or 3 weeks ago in the fourth quarter, is now a vital and crucial piece to their success throughout this last stretch. J.J. Redick has got the ears back of this locker room again, Wendy. George, he has got the attention. Guys are being stars in their role. He has found the niche and found the space for Marcus Smart, who's been knocking down timely threes, being a decision maker, being a defensive stopper. So when I look at the overall totality of the Lakers, not just LeBron, Luka, the guys playing on the floor, it's the leader, J.J. Redick. You good.
Look, the standings are important. The streak is interesting and fun, but I'm more interested in the formula. JJ and the Lakers are finding a formula here that can be sustainable. And if you look at what's happened with Luka during this streak, by the way, I want to point out, I got no problem with him talking to fans, especially if a fan is stupid enough to talk to him. Yeah. He hasn't been talking to the referees, okay? And
right.
He's doing a lot of scoring. So now,
and playing more defense because of it.
Yes, and if you look at this is this streak. This is Luka, go up, LeBron, come down a little bit. But just because you're taking less shots, maybe it can be efficient shots. Look at that field goal percentage. He is finding a way to impact the game at both ends. I'm talking about LeBron. Luka is giving more effort defensively. JJ has been holding players accountable defensively. We're seeing the improved way they're doing it. And also, they're healthy. It helps to have options. There's no doubt health has made a difference. But I can now see how the Lakers could win a playoff series. I can now see, quite frankly, how LeBron has a future with this team past this year. If he's going to play like this, this fits with Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. This style of play. And JJ and them have worked hard to develop it.
Perk, what do you think about Luka individually and the Lakers ceiling?
Let me say this. Luka, in my eyes, is already a top 10 greatest scorer that I've ever seen. When it comes to putting that damn ball in the bucket, we need to have a study and have a conversation on him, right? We somewhat have seen something like this before with James Harden when he was with you to get to the free throw line. But those tough made three-point shots and the creation, the separation that he has to do when he gets into his bag, it was daggers. Those threes last night was snatching the soul out of the Rockets in that audience. You know, so again, Luka, his ceiling, he has none. He has already led a team to the NBA Finals. I believe the Lakers ceiling is second round, and only because they would have to face OKC or the Spurs. That's it.
At this stage of his career, at this age, he's the third highest scorer behind Wilt and Jordan. That's all you got to say about what Luka Doncic can do. All right, still to come on NBA Today, it's Throwback Thursday. We revisit the 2013 Heat's historic win streak in honor of LeBron's return to South Beach tonight. Plus, another frustrating loss for Jokic in Denver last night. How safe is their current standing in a stacked Western Conference?
We're going to talk about it.
And with the news of Cade's injury, who on the Motor City squad needs to step up for this playoff push? Vincent Goodwill joins us to break it all down. That's all coming up on NBA Today.
Well, just bring me.
Mahogany. Here we come. All right, the Hawks soared past the Mavs, extending their win streak to 11 games, thanks in large part to Jonathan Kuminga's 74-foot heave at the end of the third quarter. Brian, what stands out to you about the Hawks?
Well, first off, they've been a top 10 defensive team for 2.5 months now, basically since there was a trade. Secondly, they are healthy and they are powerful. How about seven guys in double figures in this game last night? Wow. They are very, very deep with this roster right now.
Hawks are looking good. The play-in, that's going to be tough. But let's go to the top of the East, Boston, where Jaylen Brown had 32 points and got the game ball after beating the Warriors last night. Head coach Joe Mazzulla said, quote, "It's really hard being a Celtic, and you've got to live up to the past." So, Perk, you know this. What does that mean?
Exactly what he said. We're talking about the city of champions. We're talking about one of the most historic franchises in sports with a lot of names. And look, Jaylen Brown is another Finals MVP, maybe an MVP away from leapfrogging a lot of those greats that they put on their uniform.
He also knows his whole teammates' astrological symbols.
He does. We heard that yesterday. Jaylen Brown, by the way, speaking of those greats, finds himself in the inner circle of Celtics scoring lore. The list features 8 Hall of Famers and his teammate.
That's an average list. That's an average list, would you say? That's pretty good.
Yeah. If you crack that top 10, you're in good shape. All right, shifting over to the Western Conference. Denver and Memphis yesterday. Jokic and company taking on Ty Jerome, who goes logo. All right, you know it's March when Ty Jerome's going off.
He's back, man. He had to sit out the whole year basically with injury, and now he's reminding everybody why he got that contract, Bert.
All right, under a minute left in the second quarter. Jokic getting in the act from 3, staring down the ref, it looks like.
Jokic's funny when he want to be.
Yeah, he is. 5 minutes left here. Jerome goes up strong. Gets to G.G. Jackson. 2 minutes left in the fourth. Jerome kicks it out to Olivier Max Prosper, who drains the 3. Grizzlies go on to win. Denver's now 9-12 since February 1st. So, Brian, what's your level of concern for the Nuggets right now?
All right, well, I'm going to put an asterisk on this game. It was a wretched loss, just to be clear. They landed in Memphis at 3:30 in the morning. It was a couple of really tough back-to-backs this week. Lakers landed in Miami last night, landed at 4 a.m. The Nuggets landed in Memphis at 3:30. Have that being said, the Western Conference standings are too tight right now. When you play a tanker, you got to win. You just got to win. And I'm not going to evaluate this Nuggets performance too much. I believe that their ceiling is still pretty high. They put it all together. I still think they can be very potent. I think they can. It's hard for me to say they can win the West, but like they're dangerous to that level. But I can understand why, if you're a Nuggets fan, you're saying, well, you've been saying that now for months. It's mid-March. Let's put it together. And the performances like this make it a harder sell.
I'm going to say the quiet thing out loud.
Okay.
The Nuggets are not legit title contenders. In order to be legit title contenders, it's two sides of the basketball. And we could start on the offensive side of things because they've been one of the worst clutch teams in the league. Jokic has been having uncharacteristic turnovers in the clutch and clutch moments. If we swing to the other side, I mean, teams are
licking their fingers?
Licking their fingers waiting on the Nuggets because you know that you're going to be able to get off. They lack perimeter defense. They do not play that at a high level. They don't have any rim protection. You can't expect to compete in a tough Western Conference without being able. You can't have both. Either you're going to struggle on the perimeter and you have great rim protection, or you have sorry rim protection and have elite perimeter defenders. They have neither, to be honest with you.
So, real quick, Brian, before you go, they're still fourth, okay, in regards to the odds to win the title, trailing only OKC, Boston, and San Antonio.
Who odds?
The DraftKings.
Okay, well,
DraftKings.
that's DraftKings.
Yeah, so, okay. Now, I'll ask you guys this question. 3 weeks ago, we were probably saying similar stuff about the Lakers, okay? Now this team is healthy, much like the Lakers got healthy and got a chance to build some chemistry. Is there enough time for them to build chemistry?
Yes, but everything that Perk said, I kind of agree with.
Okay.
I don't really, I can't really make a powerful argument against him, especially because the defense. If you can't defend in this league, however, there have been stretches this season where they've looked like they could be conference champ. It just doesn't happen to be now.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
I have a weak rebuttal, but it's a rebuttal.
So really, you agree with me?
I guess.
That's it. He could have just said it that way. It would have been way more.
Making heat.
Launch to LeBron, up and in. They've done it again.
During this amazing streak, it seemed like they could not miss. During one 6-game stretch, LeBron made 72% of his shots and sprinkled in a couple of game winners for good measure.
James steps into a jumper and rattles it in.
But his favorite basket of the streak? What else would it be?
Chalmers, Cole, James! Whoa!
So many memorable moments over those 2 glorious months. The streak was finally snapped a week later on a cold night in Chicago. The Bulls got it.
The Chicago Bulls has snapped Miami's 27-game win streak.
The Heat finished the rest of the year 10-1 and ended the season with their second straight title.
Back out to Allen. History toilet.
A champion of the basketball world.
It's LeBron. It's South Beach. It was unforgettable.
The Heat's 27-game win streak remains the longest win streak in the history of the franchise and second longest single-season streak in NBA history. The Heat would go on to win their second straight title, as you heard Brian say, in an epic 7-game series against the Spurs. So, Brian, you were heavily invested, obviously, during that streak. I was there with you during those times, clearly. What are some of the memories you have from that?
God, I loved going back and looking at all that stuff. They were looking at the highlights, Perk. They were so good. They were so good. That was really the peak of their team, in my view. That's that run. Mm-hmm. So many wild things happened during that streak. Okay, the Harlem Shake video came out during it. All right.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember the fan coming on the court
in Cleveland?
In Cleveland. This one night in Cleveland, they were down 27 points. They had won like 24 in a row. They're down 27.
In the middle of the third quarter, they were down 27.
And by the end of the third quarter, they were tied. Okay, this fan comes out on the court, and David Holcomb, Heat security is all over him. But LeBron's like, you know what, kid? That's all right. You're fine with me. And then he followed him on social media the next day. There was so much stuff that went down during that streak.
Yeah.
The dunk on Jason Terry, which LeBron described as, I'm glad it was him. Oh, my God, Perk, because, he and Terry had beef from the 2000.
No, I didn't know they were trying to make hamburgers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, 2011 finals.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Terry has a tattoo with LeBron's name on it, basically, from the finals. Anyway, He dunked on Terry, got a technical foul for lording over him. By the way, Scott Foster came running and gave him a tech.
Yep.
When you see LeBron get a tech for taunting, doesn't happen every day. And then after the game, he said, "I'm glad it was him." How about that? I ran as much as I could run, George, down the hallway.
That's your laptop.
To get to write that story. It was so enjoyable to cover that team. They were so good. That streak was awesome. And by the way, I mentioned in the piece they finished 10-1. They finished the season winning 37 of 39 games.
It's insane. Yeah,
I mean, that's crazy.
It was pretty wild. Now, Perk, you were also you played a part in that streak as well. Do you remember that at all?
What part?
Oh, let's take a listen.
And that gets the crowd going. The crowd has been out of it, understandably, with Miami up by as many as 17. How about this matchup? Oh, Lord, someone needs to send help immediately. James,
hey, you move from those puppies, Perk. Don't let him holler.
There's no way. I mean, LeBron James is doing that against Kevin Durant and Pelosi, but you get Kendrick Perkins.
He didn't miss back then. I just want you to know he shot like 70%.
911 in a heartbeat.
Call 911, Reggie said. You needed help, Perk.
Yeah, I mean, I done seen Reggie get cooked too a few times. So, I mean, he's not who was he to judge? But look, you got to take pride, and you know what? Hey, look, it is what it is. We living with that shot, but that three was one thing. But I also feel like throughout their stretch when they won 27 games, they also found their identity.
Oh, no doubt.
Right? Like that low post, the cutting, like D Wade and Braun found how to play off of one another at the elite level. So
Still took Ray Allen's shot to win the title.
It did, because the Spurs were that good. But do you also remember what also played a key role there? Remember they added Chris Birdman Anderson.
Oh, yes.
He was a big part of changing that identity, gave LeBron a vertical threat, and changed the dynamics of the team.
Also a big part of the Harlem Shake video.
He was, yes, no doubt. All right, we know nobody has scored more points than LeBron. But Kevin Durant is also closing in on some hallowed ground. He's just 51 points away from passing Michael Jordan to move into the top 5 on the all-time list. And when he gets there, it's worth noting KD has already played over 100 more games and 2,500 more minutes than Jordan. But as it is his MO, Durant has gotten there more efficiently with about 2,400 fewer shot attempts than MJ entering tonight. Michael Wilbon has more on KD's scoring list chase.
He got it! Kevin Durant from long distance. Durant, pull-up jumper off the rim and Durant way downtown. Bang!
Kevin Durant, best player in the world. Let's just call it what it is.
I can't really worry about the outside noise. I trusted my gut. I trusted my instinct.
He really could demand quiet before going into his shooting motion, like the artist he is, at work. It's on display for 19 years now, putting a ball in a basket like few men have in the history of pro basketball.
There's a two-hand flush!
Every few games, it seems, Kevin Durant cruises past another all-time great on the all-time scoring list. Oscar Robertson? Check. Hakeem Olajuwon? Check. Shaq, Wilt, Dirk? Check. Next up, Michael Jordan.
3-on-3, Jordan in deep. Jordan got away! Score!
17 years of 25 or more points per game have gotten Durant to the brink of Jordan. Only Jordan and Wilt have more scoring titles than Durant's 4. The consistency and efficiency are numbing. 50% shooting, no problem. Durant has done it 13 straight seasons, and absolutely nobody has as many seasons of averaging 25 while shooting 50% overall and 40% from 3.
Picked up by Kevin Durant, becoming the second youngest in pro basketball history to reach 10,000 points.
He's been better in his 30s than his 20s. He paid no attention to an Achilles tear. Before the injury, Durant averaged 27 points per game on 49% shooting, 38% from 3.
Durant shakes Harrell, hits again! 20,000 for his career!
In nearly 350 games since, 27.5 points.
Just reached an agreement with the Players Union, and the draft is right around the corner, just 25 days away. So who should you be watching when the first round tips off this weekend. First, AZ Fudd leads UConn in their bid to repeat as champs. Fudd in Connecticut will play UTSA on Saturday. Fudd is projected to go first in the latest mock to the Dallas Wings. TCU's Olivia Miles leads her team into the tournament on Friday against UC San Diego. Miles is projected to go third in the latest mock draft to the Storm. UCLA's Lauren Betts begins her tourney run Saturday. That's against Cal Baptist. The Big Ten Player of the Year is projected as the 4th overall pick to the Washington Mystics. And LSU is looking for a title run led by Flau'jae Johnson. They play Jacksonville on Friday. Johnson is projected to go number 5 to the Sky to team up with fellow 2023 champ Angel Reese. Now back to our top story of the day. Shams Charania reported earlier that the Pistons star Cade Cunningham has been diagnosed with a collapsed lung and is expected to miss an extended period of time. It will be reevaluated in 2 weeks, according to Shams. And we now welcome in Vincent Goodwill. Vince, you're plugged in with the Pistons. What more can you tell us about Cade's injury and the recovery process?
Well, for one, George, the Pistons feel like they're very lucky that this was not a broken rib, but it appears that he will probably miss the rest of the regular season. They're looking at a timeline like this. The next 2 weeks, the collapsed rib will recover. And then after that, the hope is that he will begin basketball conditioning, non-contact. And then a week later, their hope is that he will have a week or more to begin contact basketball activity, with the playoffs beginning on April 18th. 4-week period. Maybe he'll have an extra 4 days, and that is the hope, is that he will be ready to play for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Now, Vince, I would imagine we already have some semblance of understanding of what this question will mean, but what is the mood around the organization right now with Cade being out?
It's a blow. I think that's the biggest thing in talking to Pistons personnel this morning and this afternoon. They understand how important he is to their ball club, how important he has been to their success. Once again, they are thankful that it is not something that is worse, but they know they cannot replace Cade Cunningham with a single player. They know that Asar Thompson, Dennis Jenkins, who they found out of the G League on a 2-way contract, who they converted a little while ago, they feel like players like that will have to stem the tide. They have 14 games remaining, 3.5 up on Boston, 5 up on the New York Knicks. Their hope is that they will slip no further than 2, especially if they can play around 500 ball for the rest of the season's 14 games. But they have a daunting schedule ahead of them to finish out the year.
All right, Vinny, thanks for the info. Appreciate the time, man. The Pistons have been able to manage over the last couple of seasons without Cade, but overall, they see the offense fall off a cliff when their all-star, all-league guard is not in the lineup. So, Perk, who needs to step up in the absence of Cade?
Everybody, including J.B. Bickerstaff. Like, this is when you get in your bag as a coach, right? This is when you get the guys to come together and everybody chips in and do a little bit more. Obviously, we've been seeing Jalen Duren. He's been putting up numbers. When you look at the young fellas like Jenkins, Asar Thompson, even the old head Tobias Harris, I expect those guys to elevate their game. But if I'm JB, I go watch the Miami Heat Duncan Robinson and put in a system that's surrounding him. Not meaning that he takes all the shot, but the way he moves without the ball, coming off of pin downs of Jalen Duren, stuff like that, I think they could find a system within that where everybody flourish.
It's probably going to get a little worse before it gets better, because Isaiah Stewart is also dealing with a calf issue.
Right.
He's out at least a week, and, they're going to be careful with that. So they may take some losses here, and obviously the seed they want to get, but ultimately what's most important is that probably what I would say is they need to be in good shape by the second round. The first round will be a challenge, but the second round is where the rubber's going to meet the road, and they should have plenty of time to get themselves in good position.
I don't know about that first round thing. I think if I don't want to play the Hornets or any of these teams right now, the Hawks, even the Heat maybe, I don't know. But here are the odds to win the East at the moment. Perk, any thoughts?
Look damn good to me.
Yeah, they dropped to, they're at 4th right now. So the Pistons have dropped to 4th with this Cade news, but we'll see what ends up transpiring. Coming up, LeBron is back in Miami, and we look